Hello everyone, I'm Brad Misra. Today I'm going to be talking about Echoes 4. Echoes 4 was another release at Gen Con 2023. I talked about the other stuff, the white boxes and the beta content. I talked about that in the other video. This is another larger release. I didn't get a chance to talk about it in that video. That video already went long. So Echoes 4 matches much of what we've already seen from the other Echoes. So we have the 4 strains and then the 4 strain fighting arts. There was some speculation that maybe it could have been like knowledge cards or whatever, but I'm glad that it stuck with strains. I enjoy chasing the strains. I don't mind them. These ones don't seem too difficult to get. One of them's a little bit hard, but overall these strains aren't as bad, and they are strain fighting arts, so not that bad. Same as the other Echoes. And the models are really good. I know there's no shop listing yet of them, but here I have some pictures of them. Someone on the Discord, Six Sacrifice, shared these with me, so I will use these images here that you're seeing. They are very neat, and as you can see, they are Gambler's Chest related with Croc, Smog, and King like sets and stuff that some of them are wearing. So very neat, high quality sculpts like you always see from all Echoes of Death. So let's go ahead and look at the actual strains now. So the first one here is Snarling Amygdala strain, or Amygdala strain. Survivor with Disorder Rageaholic and the Fighting Art Berserk consumes a frenzy drink. So not that difficult. Harder to do in Gambler's Chest because it's a fighting art, but not that difficult. Permanent effect. A prolonged blaze of anger burns through the survivor's brain, permanently forging new pathways between power and pain. A new neural map propagates. Permanently add cross counter to your fighting art deck. Survivor gains cross counter. So let's look at cross counter. So cross counter. So the fighting art itself. If the monster performs its basic action against you while you are attacking with fist and tooth, the monster suffers 1 wound and you become guardless until the end of the basic action. So, with this anyway, it's weird that you become guardless during your basic action. Well, it's not that weird, but there's no definition of guardless. It wasn't included in this box, but it's in Gambler's Chest and it's on the Living Glossary. But it just basically means you can't dodge, which you couldn't do anyway because you were attacking, so you can't dodge anyway, and then it means you also can't block or deflect or any of those other things, right? So you can't do any of those things. Then after the monster suffers the wound before the basic attack begins, so that's good. And then it's limit once per attack. So again, there's a lot of synergy here with other fighting arts for Fist and Tooth. Fist and Tooth has lots of stuff that makes this work a lot better. Fist and Tooth has like the Cold Speaker Knife. Fist and Tooth has the Metal Maw, Acid Palms. There's the one from the other Echoes. I forget what it's called, but there's lots of other Fist and Tooth stuff. So this is interesting. Pretty good to do automatic wounds. Automatic wounds are always good. So I just don't know how easy it is to get targeted specifically by basic action during like a reaction or while you're attacking. Mostly it will be the trap, which is interesting because if you were to trigger the trap with this, I don't think it would even work because the monster can't be... Nothing can happen to the monster when the trap's drawn. So the wound wouldn't trigger, and that's the most likely way to get basic action triggered is via the trap. And even if you were to get the trap, if you drew the trap, you'd be doomed, but I guess this would happen before you would be doomed. But then again, you wouldn't be targeted with the basic action until you read the card, so you'd be doomed by then, and then if you're doomed, the cross counter wouldn't work anyway. It's interesting. It's a weird card, but it's interesting. If you can figure out ways to get it to trigger, it's pretty good. Automatic wounds are always going to be very good. Next on the list we have what is this one? Lifebound Page Strain. So Lifebound Page Strain. Survivor witnesses their partner vanish from history during Scribe's book Hunt Event. That's Hunt Event 84. That is the basic Hunt Event. That is not too difficult to do. It's more specific because it needs to be their partner via the partner innovation. This one's a little hard to do, but this one is awesome. So, Shrieking with Horror, the survivor snatches the page, clutching the fleshly inked name to their chest. Ink runs down their sweaty fingers as the page crumbles in their desperate grip. The pieces rise into the air, dispersing over the stone face plane of their own volition. Permanently add Curse Conductor to your fighting arts. Survivor gains Curse Conductor. Curse Conductor is really good. So here's Curse Conductor. While you are the monster controller, the monster has -1 accuracy and -1 evasion. That is really good. And then when you wound the monster with an arrow, gain the monster controller tile. This is really, really good with you're always going to get the monster controller, right? That's just a thing that's going to happen. So this is really good. It's not even, you can get monster controller other ways without using the arrow thing, but the fact that it has the arrow thing is also good. So you use this with like the Giggle Line arrow, the one you can use multiple times, the one that's very likely to wound. This is really good. This is really good. This is really, really good. There's no other way of putting this. Just the fact you can move around. Now, moving specifically the monster controller tile could need a little bit of clarification, because if you're playing people on Lantern and you have the, there's at points where you stop using monster controller tile, where you switch it to the dice, which I think this would move the dice to you. I need to get some clarification on this for sure, but it's even better that you could find this. This finds ways of moving the dice to you constantly, and then also doing a debuff on the monster and giving it -1 the accuracy, -1 evasion. Curse Conductor is really, really good. It's like the highlight of this for all of these. Let me pull up Beginner's Luck now, the other one. All right, so here we have Beginner's Luck. This is the Colluded Birth. This is the milestone condition is a settlement with Protect the Young, which is great to have a Protect the Young buff. Roll a 1 and a Lantern 10 during the same intimacy event, and they pick the 10 result. Obviously, you would pick the 10 result, which would either give you a savior if you were playing Lantern, or, whatever. The 10 result is good, but this needs to be a Lantern 10, and it needs to be a natural 1. It says that. A Lantern 10. You roll a 1 and a Lantern 10, right? It's not the result. These are the dice faces. But then the new parents host a settlement-wide celebration. Amidst the festivities, a parent locks eyes with a robed stranger. Stranger flashes a wide grin from each of its twin mouths. Permanently add Beginner's Luck to the Fighting Art deck. All newborns from this intimacy gain Beginner's Luck. So what is Beginner's Luck? Record the name and level of any monster you defeat on your survivor record sheet. So this means if you take part in the hunt, you reach rewards, you get the aftermath, you get victory, then you record the name and the level. And then on arrival, if you do not have the monster you are facing on your survivor record sheet, name and level, gain +1 luck token. This is really good with like Gambler's Chest and stuff, because Gambler's Chest encourages fighting multiple level monsters multiple times, or not multiple times, fighting different monsters of multiple level and clearing them to get the CC bonus. So this is really good, but the thing is it's a fighting art, so even in Gambler's Chest you're not going to kind of do that with the fighting arts. I guess you could run people the Dreamkeeper without using... Oh no, you can't. You can't run people the Dreamkeeper without using Arc Survivors. So... I guess you could try to run Gambler, but I guess Gambler's always going to be people the Dreamkeeper. Either way, I guess if you could find ways to get this on the... If you lucked out and got this on one of your Arc Survivors, this is really good. But either way, it's really good, even without that, because, even in Endgame, the chances are you're going to be fighting Nemesis that you've never fought before, right? So you get this on it, because you're never going to go back to a level you've never fought, and you're never going to, on the timeline, it's never going to go back to when you fought. You know what I mean? So you're always going to be fighting something new with a nemesis. So this is always going to be good, even if you get it. Even when you say you were born with this like lantern, you're 22 or something, and you're already fighting only level 3s because you're not going to go back and fight level 1 or level 2 just to get the luck token because it's going to give you lesser rewards. So even then, it's still good because you'll be fighting nemesis you haven't fought before. So still good. Let's pull up the last one. Here is the last one, the last strain, Resolute Pillar strain. If razor maggots kill a survivor during herb gathering. Okay, not that bad, not that difficult. It just kills any survivor. Doesn't need to be, it's just anyone. So it's not a specific thing, doesn't need to be someone with a specific disorder and something happens. So this is a pretty easy one to do. The maggots burrow into the ground, escaping certain digestion. Their hostile form and defense endures. Often found in the festering wounds of survivors, the maggots leave their lesson in every pulsing sore. Permanently add sieging offense to your fighting art deck. And then a member of the hunting party gains sieging offense, so you get to decide who gets it. Then, sieging offense. This is for activation. You can bolster. If you have any deflect tokens, gain +1 deflect token. So this is really good. It's a way of getting deflect tokens without needing a shield you need to get deflect tokens, then you can bolster and get more. So if you can get them with like a sword or something, some way of getting them, then you can use an action to get more of them past your limit, right? Because deflect 1, this would give you 2 deflect tokens. Your attack gains strength equal to the number or equal to your number of deflect tokens. This one's interesting because of how it's worded. So this is worded like barbed. So with barbed is when you roll a perfect hit, your attack gains +4 strength, meaning that it's going to be persistent throughout all your wounds. So with this, it's when you attack, your total when you roll to hit. Like when you roll your hit dice, right, to see how many hits you're going to get in your attack, you count your deflect tokens then. So say you had 2 or 3 deflect tokens. Your whole attack would get 3 strength, even if you started losing deflect tokens, right? That's how this is worded. So I think that's how it works. Your attacks gain strength equal to the number of deflect tokens. It doesn't say to your wound attempts. It says your attacks, meaning that when you even attack, you count your deflect tokens, right? So it's good. It means you can use them on reactions and stuff and not get a penalty to your strength. However, you do need a way of getting this deflect tokens, and you do need a way of like benefiting, like, because +2 strength is probably not going to be super great, but it is what it is. At least it's something. It helps you skill up your shield, which is nice. Shield proficiency, you have to wound with the shield. This at least gives them strength, which is nice. Gets around low strength. If there's ever a low strength deflect shield, right, or it's best to use this with swords, but if there ever was a low strength deflect shield, this would help it. So it's not terrible. It's really easy to get because it's just someone needs to die during herb gathering. So for how hard it is and for what it does, it's not bad. The best one is clearly that Curse Conductor. That is crazy good. That really is. That's the reason that's really good, Curse Conductor, especially with clarification. If you can really move around the Horpulation dice or other things, once the monster controller tile is stopped working in your campaign, and you can move around those other things, it's nuts. Especially since it gives you a way of doing so. Even if you don't use the arrow, like I said, it's still going to benefit you. Just from naturally, monster controller will come to you once every 4 rounds, so you'll still gain benefits from it. Very neat, very interesting. I think Echoes 4 is really good. Again, the minis are really good. Novice is in here. I know everyone's a big fan of Novice. She's in here. So, very, very good. I really enjoy Echoes 4. I think it's pretty good. So, I hope more Echoes 4 come out. I like the fact they're strains. I like the fact they're fighting cards. I hope they keep the strain system the same as we see. Maybe next year we'll see more Echoes, see how they evolve. Maybe we'll have more releases. But we got Game List just now, so everything is great. So, thank you so much. I'll see you next time.